It's snowing outside! It's so exciting! Should I get some snow off the roof? Obviously. Yeah, right? It's more like slush than snow. I would throw it at the camera for like comedic effect, but my camera's an electronic device, so I might be silly. And weak. But I'm not stupid. And my dear, we are still goodbye. As long as you love me so. Let it snow, 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 let it snow. Yeah. It is December 2nd. Thank you all so much. We passed 6,000 subscribers. It's snowing outside, which is incredible, and that only means that we can do one type of video, and that is 3, 2, 1. Can you guess it? That's right, Frozen 2 review. Yes, I saw this movie on opening night about 2 weeks ago, and then once it was over, I was like, oh, I'll do my review, but then it was Thanksgiving, so I just, you know, ate up. And now this is the first Monday after Thanksgiving passed. Happy Thanksgiving. What did you do? How did you give thanks? So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it! Let me just pull up my notes now, because I don't actually remember what it was. This is a non-spoiler review, just heads up. Overall, I thought the movie was incredible, a must-see, super adventurous. I thought that the one main thing was that they threw us straight into the plot. Like, they had maybe one song that was just like, you know, things are great, and then they're just like, just kidding, we're in a real new story. And I was like, oh, okay, we're just flying into it like that. So that was really cool. And I really liked the movie. But these are just some notes that I've written out. They might not be in chronological order, but they definitely are spoiler-free. I want to start with Olaf. Holy moly, Olaf is funnier than ever. Every single joke from Olaf landed, except for one. There was one scene where, like, it was really sad, and it was something that was connected to the overall Frozen theme and Frozen story, and then Olaf cracks a joke, and I'm like, it's not the time, Olaf. I was listening to the soundtrack on Apple Music, and Olaf's song came up, and he said something in the song that I forgot he did in the movie, and I laughed so hard, because it's a running joke in the movie. Everyone was dying of laughter, kids, adults. There's one part where he does this thing that kind of harkens back to Frozen 1, and I was dying. I was absolutely dying. And if you stay for the end of the movie, after the credits, there's a little scene. It's not story-driven. It's just Olaf again being funny, and it hits every time. So A+ to the Olaf character, and whoever wrote his script, or if he improvised it, I don't even know. It was so funny. Kristoff, on the other hand, he was better than he was in Frozen 1. Like, he definitely had some more depth to him as a character, with him finally taking initiative in his own plotline. However, I didn't really like how him and Anna were together. They were trying to make that a comedic element too, where like they were trying to get together, but Anna was misinterpreting a lot of the things that he was saying. He's like, yes, wait, no. And she's like, oh, so I'm not like your best? Or, you know, that kind of bickering thing. It's funny, it just didn't make sense for Anna as a character because she seemed so empathetic and understanding of Elsa. So for her, and Elsa who like doesn't give any emotional cues at all, yeah, I stand by that statement. I guess. He's like, what? I never said that. So it was just uncharacteristic of her to be misunderstanding. But it was for a comedic purpose, so I didn't really take it to heart. But it was just unfortunate that that's what Kristoff's storyline was. They also, with Anna, kind of let her have to decide between boyfriend and sister, which is unfortunate because that shouldn't be a decision that she has to make. You know, it's not, we don't live in ancient times. Like, you can manage both as a woman, as a human, as a man too. So I didn't really like that element. And then Elsa. I loved this movie so much. I love that they rushed straight into the story, the animation, the adventure aspect, the tying in of nature and the different elements. It was really cool. I enjoyed that they were harkening back to history and trying to tie in how Elsa got in her powers. I was like, wow, we're finally gonna get some answers. I thought she was gonna be so amazing, and she was, and the story was building, and they got to one song. It's the Show Yourself song from the soundtrack, if you've listened to the soundtrack. That whole sequence is breathtaking, and they're finally heightening, and the song heightens and builds, and you're like, what's gonna happen? What's the story? And then they do something with the story that I was like, why? Why? And I felt so sad because they had something really powerful on their hands and they just Disney chucked it into the like recycle bin, and they were like, well, we'll play it safe. And I was like, why play it safe? You could have done something really magical. It's like the movie's premise was, Elsa is special, but we don't know why. Let's find some answers. And then by the end, you're just like, Elsa is more special, but we still don't know why. And that's the answer. And you're just like, what? That doesn't answer anything. They're just like, yeah, but she's just really special. And you're like, yeah, but why? How? The Elsa element tied in so deeply into the story that that's my main issue. And it's not that it was bad, it was just that it was so predictable, and I guess I'm just being unfair to the movie, because I was talking with a friend who watched it after, my friend Michelle, and she was telling me that she really enjoyed it, and I was like, yeah, but what about this issue? I told her, I guess I'm just being unfair to the movie, because Frozen 1 was so groundbreaking with like redefining what true love means. Wow, Disney really broke the formula here. So for them to know that that worked and Frozen became such a wild phenomenon, I thought that they were gonna do a really risky thing for Frozen 2. I didn't appreciate it as much because Elsa's such a pivotal character. She is the Frozen series. I know it's Elsa and Anna, but like I think we're all just really interested in how Elsa acts and Anna kind of reacts to her. Everyone's kind of reacting to Elsa. And it kind of felt that once that one thing happened, which it didn't make me like Elsa less, it just didn't let me like her as much as I had hoped. Once that element happened, it really feels like tangibly that the story is rushing to finish. So much so that you're like, wow, I guess they spent like 5 of those 6 years like writing this whole thing and animating it, and they're like, wait, it has to come out next year? And they just like hodgepodge something together, and the third act, the ending of it, doesn't really feel as emotionally charged, and the pacing of it is completely off. They kind of throw you into Act 1 with the story, Act 2 really just levels out and fleshes out the story, and then Act 3 is just like, oh yeah, we have to finish. Once they did that thing with Elsa, they kind of resorted to fades and fading to black and cross dissolves, and I was like, why? Why are we doing this? You know, they didn't need it, but when you can fade to black, it kind of really allows the story to speed up, because you can fade to black and come back at whatever point you want and whatever time you want, so it just felt really rushed, and that was a technical way that it felt rushed. One thing I'll say, which is not a spoiler, but you'll understand, is sea level rises. The reason I rate it the way that I'm rating it is specifically because from that point on to the end, it was bold, it just wasn't risky, if that makes sense, because there were some definite decisions made that are going to change the future of Frozen. It felt way too simple for the magnificence of what she is capable of doing. And I guess that's what Disney is. It's supposed to be simple for the kids, but with how groundbreaking Frozen 1 was, I expected more from Frozen 2, so I just didn't feel they delivered. Disney has been doing this thing where they don't really have full-fledged villains anymore. It's kind of just like themes that are the villains, or like good characters that are just misinterpreted. Like in Wreck-It Ralph 2, it was Ralph who was the villain, and I'm not a big fan of that. If you're wondering if Frozen 2 is better than Frozen 1, I think it really just depends on what you are looking for. I like Frozen 2 more than Frozen 1. I also felt Frozen 1 was overhyped because Tangled is a really amazing movie, and Frozen just like, oh, it was good. And then let's talk about the songs. So I usually do this thing on this channel where I listen to the soundtrack before going to watch the movie, just like little snippets of it so I can react to the songs, and those have done really well on my channel, and I was like, oh, I should do it for Frozen 2, but I realized that me knowing the song going into the movie kind of detracts a little bit from the emotional experience. You know, I had never heard even snippets of what the songs were before going to watch Frozen 2, and I really liked that. Also, I was in a play, in a musical, and I had to study for a really big test, so I was like, I'm not going to force trying to listen to the soundtrack. Now that I listen to the soundtrack again after watching the movie, the songs make more sense when you see what they're doing visually. I don't know how I would have reacted to the songs if I just played the soundtrack, because they're not as, like, singable as, or sing-alongable, I guess is the word, as Frozen 1 songs. But once you understand the context of why they're singing them, they make a lot more sense. I'll come up with another video, I'll probably link it in the eye once it comes out, of my favorite songs ranked from Frozen 2. And I just have to say that Panic at the Disco's Into the Unknown gave me chills. Oh my gosh, Brendan Urie's voice hitting those high notes because it plays over the credits. I was sitting there and I was like, right out the gate, he just like goes for it. It's such a good song! Ah! The songs in this movie were not written by the same people who wrote the songs for Frozen 1, and it kind of shows because the song will be fast and then slow down and then fast and then slow down, and it's really hard to sing those kinds of songs. They're not just like, you know, Frozen, Let It Go has verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and we're done. It's just like verse 1, pre-chorus, pre-chorus 2, bridge half, and you know, it's a really cool song. It's just, I don't know if I would have liked Into the Unknown just from Idina Menzel's version for the movie. I had to hear Brendan Urie's version for me to understand what the song was about because of how up and down the songs go. Is it better than Frozen 1 songs? Some of them, but Frozen 1 songs are just really iconic. Frozen 2 songs, maybe 2 of them are really good. I think Brendan Urie's version, Panic at the Disco, is going to be like the song. And I will say this, I know that the animation is breathtaking. I said that as like a blanket statement for this movie. It is absolutely stunning what they're able to do. It's like eye candy. Every single pixel and sparkle that they throw up on screen of Elsa's powers or of the water or of fire, all these little things, you just feel like you're living in this world, and the color tones look more real life. So it's not just I'm watching like Toy Story or something. This is the same color palette of my world. But that being said, this is the first time, maybe ever, in an animated movie, where I could tell that the animated character on screen was not singing the same note that the human voice was. Like Idina Menzel would be like, ah! And see how your mouth goes, ah! To like sing that note? And you can hear it ever so clearly, and Elsa's like, and I'm like, this cannot make the ah! I guess you can. It just felt very disconnected multiple times with Elsa, with Anna. Kristoff, not as much, but Elsa and Anna specifically. Also, Anna's song did not hit. Like, the one where she sings by herself, the gravity of it felt nice, and by the end you feel the story element of it, but the song is very weak. And Kristen Bell's voice is amazing, so it's just lyrically not strong. And Kristoff's song, his and Olaf's. Olaf's is just funny because of Josh Gad's like snippets of words in between the singing, but Jonathan Groff's voice is so clean. When he comes in the first song, you're just like, this guy was like drinking honey before he sang, and it all flows so well. And they gave him one song that was so funny. Again, visually, you have to see what they're doing visually with these songs to really understand the comedy behind it. Such a funny movie, and the songs are really great. And the story, just Act 3, why? Like, if they had, I don't know who they let watch these movies before they come out, but like, how did they let that happen? Like, were they 4-year-olds? I guess they were 4-year-olds, and they're like, it sounds great because it's Elsa. I'm like, yeah, but Elsa could do more. And the last thing I'll say about the songs is, so many of the songs, and I'll probably talk about this more in my song review, song reaction video, where I talk about the songs and rank them, but I felt really strongly that many of the songs wanted to go higher, and maybe I did think that they made some of the songs really high, like Idina Menzel's songs, because they didn't want another Let It Go fiasco where the parents are just going crazy over kids singing Let It Go. So they had her sing her songs super high pitched so that no kid could hit it. But like, because the song built, I don't know if Idina just held back or if she couldn't hit those notes, but I was just like, the song wants to go higher, and she's still hitting the same notes that she hit when she started. And I'm like, no, the song is building for a reason. I'm always someone who likes things to be pushed and for singers to really push themselves to hit their notes, high notes specifically, and that's why I really like Brendan Urie's version from Panic at the Disco, because you can tell that guy's going for it. And Idina maybe is going for it, but just the songs Show Yourself and Into the Woods, Out of the Woods. Both of Idina Menzel's songs wanted to go higher. Anna's song wanted to go higher. You know, even when I listen to it on the soundtrack, I'm like singing the higher key because I want it to go there. I'm like, if I can hit it, definitely someone else can hit it who's more talented than I am. Here's the note, and they're just like, I'm like, where's And then the final thing I'll say, this is potential spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear anything that's potentially a spoiler, you can skip ahead. If you don't want to hear the spoilers, just skip ahead to this point on the screen. All right, cool. You're still here, you're listening, you want a spoiler? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, spoil. So did Elsa and Anna's parents not go see Rapunzel? Is that just, like, I'm really not a fan of people lying to me. Like, you give me a story and I will consume it. But don't come around in the sequel and tell me everything you told me in the first one was a lie, because that's not how you write a story. Because they were just like, oh, they went to go to this event, and they're like, oh, our parents didn't go to the event. I'm like, well, you can't lie to us just to make things interesting. That's not how this works. And I felt so cheated that was such a crucial plot point. And then another thing that was such a crucial plot point, which really hammers home, I need to take a sip of water, I'm getting tired. Water has memory. Which is a great line. So many great lines. And some things that you'll hear in the beginning of the movie and you're like, that's gonna come back. This is a point that really makes me think that they were not planning the movie to go in the direction that they decided, specifically once something happens with Elsa towards the end. The girl that we saw in the trailer is clearly one of the natives, and she's darker skinned, and they said that is Elsa's mom? What? They're not the same skin color. How does that happen? And don't come and tell me, oh, I don't even know what potential reasons are. I did not like that because it feels like they're forcing together a story that doesn't come together naturally, and that's why I feel it's a reason why Act 3 is not what they initially planned. And it worked in Frozen 1, where like the thing that they changed ended up being the thing that everyone in the audience really liked, like, oh, we revolutionized true love. But this one just like, what? I didn't really feel they're not the same person. And you can't tell me the parents went somewhere and they didn't actually go and the mom actually knows everything. What? So that's, I felt, when I was watching it, that's what I like internally, I was like, ah, come on, that's not a good story. Those were the final things I wanted to say, those spoiler things. And if you've seen the movie and it's a spoiler, just write spoiler in all caps so people know, and then write your comment. What were your thoughts? Did you watch Frozen 2? If not, when are you gonna watch it? Are you gonna wait until it comes out on streaming? Also, specifically, let's talk about streaming really quickly. Are they gonna have Disney movies go from theater to like Redbox for DVD streaming and then go on Disney Plus? Like, what's the trajectory now? Because Lion King is in Redbox, but it's not on Disney Plus. So what's the timeline now? Are things gonna go from theater to streaming or from theater to Redbox to streaming? Really interesting world we're living in, fam. Thank you all so much for watching with me. I really enjoyed watching Frozen 2. I'm excited. Oh yeah, we passed 6,000 subscribers. That's the thing I should have said in the beginning of the video. I'm gonna say this now, and Peter, you could put it in the beginning of the video. I have something really big coming up soon. I'm super excited. It's gonna be so great. Thank you all so much. My goal for 2019 was 5,000. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this Frozen 2 review of Frozen 2. Thank you all so much for tuning into this channel that's barely held together. Thank you very much. If you watched Frozen 2, let me know your thoughts down below. And if you enjoyed this video, tell me why. If you did not, tell me why not. And as always, be safe, be strong, be swag. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. You can watch more right now. Make sure to like and subscribe. Take care. I love you guys. Bye! There are some bloopers right now. Hopefully, if I have the time and energy to edit them. And Peter, do I have the time and energy to put them in? Cool. Alright, bye. This is pretty good. I look like a dog because I just showered. Almost appealing. Hello? Why is the snow not sticking? I agree, my sister. Yeah, so, my SD card just completely blew up, and, yeah, so it's a good thing I just downloaded everything. I hope I downloaded everything off of it. Let's just jump into it. There are always some technical difficulties when it comes to making these videos, and it's you know, someone out there doesn't want us to have fun. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Oh, the fire is so delightful. And since we're no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I hope my school is closing, so that I don't have to do any work, any work, any work. Aw, my friend Tim is like, hey, when do you want to work on YouTube videos? Wow, I actually got distracted. Hashtag on brand. I'm actually recording my Frozen 2 review. Why? Why did I do that? Hey everyone, my name is Peter. You're watching the Disney Channel. Dun, 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 dun. My family, and I really enjoyed it because we hadn't have been to. It was a while since we've been together.